I was looking today and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's only one more clue left.
I know. It's hard to believe. We're already on 4.
It's gone so smoothly.
Except at the very beginning, it wasn't so smooth,
Well,
you know.
we got that rectified.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia. It's good to see you on Wednesday night here.
I'm hoping Audrey shows
You're
up.
muted though, Cynthia. So we can.
I got out a little bit early.
Oh, nice.
But it was tempting to just stay at work because it's air conditioned there. Not at home.
What part?
I know we don't have air conditioning either, and it's been roasting all week. But actually, today wasn't too bad. It cooled down really nice last night. We had storms, and then it cooled off. And right now, it's just good. The sky just opened up with thunderstorms.
Just happened here too. We've been so dry. We really need the rain.
Yeah, exactly.
So. Anyway, can't put the knitting down.
So what sweater are you gonna make, Joe?
I got your pattern for the dandelion honey.
Oh, nice.
So I really like the one that she made in slate, but then there's a darker one. Isn't it more of a brown?
Yeah, there's the slate is the 4th shade, and there's a darker shade called River Rock. They're actually shades of the same tone. The very darkest one looks really brown by itself, but when you put it next to all the other ones, it's just the darkest shade. It doesn't look like a different shade, you know.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm leaning with that one, but when I get in there tomorrow, I might change my mind.
That'll be pretty.
I think so too. I guess I should ask if you have plenty of yarns, but instead of ordering it tonight, I thought I have errands tomorrow. So
we didn't run out of yarn yet.
Well, of that particular one. But
yeah, we have plenty. We're getting lowish on a few shades of stone soup, but we've got more on order. So this is a sale that we do every year at the same time. So it's time.
What was it that I bought when I was up there? Stone soup.
Yeah, the stone soup slate.
I bought slate. Yeah.
Is that the slate?
This is the slate.
Okay.
No, the problem is there are just so many more choices now, and it's all like amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to swatch for the dandelion honey in Hempshaw lace that I still had some of. I'm not sure yet if the gauge will work. I'm swatching.
It should. I mean, I've found that you might have to tighten up your needles. I mean, when I did the one with the fresh lace, I had to go down to like 2 needle sizes to a size 3. So, you know, the plant, vastly different fiber types are going to handle differently, but I was able to get gauge on size 3. I just had to, you know, and it's not like you do more knitting. If you're getting gauge, then you're knitting the same number of stitches and everything. So
very interesting.
And the same when I did the pullover, I did a pullover, the Mukarnas pullover in fresh lace as well, and I did exactly the same thing.
Thank you.
But I'm knitting right now. I'm knitting all right, not right now. I am knitting a top with the modern deco lace, but I did knit the pullover dandelion honey with the modern deco lace, and I used like size 5 needles with that. So, and that knits similarly to the hemp shawl. Hi, Julie. Hi, Wanda.
Hello.
How's your summer going, Julie?
Good so far. It finally feels like last week we went through Wednesday, so this week finally feels like it's definitely break.
Uh-huh.
So it's good.
Oh, that's right. You stay in school longer, but you don't go
Yep.
back till after Labor Day, right? So
This upcoming year, Labor Day is late, so we're actually going back really like the week before, and the students are even coming back before Labor Day.
oh wow.
It was weird because I guess Labor Day is like the latest possible day it can be, I think. On the calendar. So I'm trying not to think about that. Though. This was just the longest year ever.
Yeah. Hopefully it's going to be much better next year.
Yeah. Yep. So I just celebrated it being summer by ordering some yarn from you.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the code today. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
it's my birthday this month.
Oh, there you go.
So many excuses.
It's our
School's
birthday
out.
sometime.
Yeah.
What
It's my
did
birthday in July. So
What'd you get? What'd you get?
I got Better Breakfast DK in warm coals.
Oh,
So
nice.
to make, I think I'm gonna knit a pullover for home office with that. So
Uh-huh.
it'll be like sweatshirty.
Yeah.
And I got more of the Targi Tango Sport in Argentine to make a cardigan of some sort.
Uh-huh. Nice.
So
Nice.
I actually had to like make an itemized list of everything I've ordered in the last year to make sure I wasn't overlapping too much. Right now, I'm just spit splicing the new skein of the Argentine on this shawl. Is this about where we should be hitting in this clue, where we should be hitting our second skein of yarn?
I wish I
And
could
for a
remember.
large size?
I wish I could remember. I don't remember. I had it written
Are other
down.
people, is anyone else at about that point?
I mean, my large shawl only took like 1.5 skeins, so
Okay.
I started the second skein today for the large.
Yeah.
mhm. Did you get your iPad, Wanda?
Yes, and I tried to zoom on it and it was working, and then all of a sudden I lost my sound. So I'm on my iPhone. I'll try it again. But I'm enjoying it. My goodness.
Oh, I finished my May barn box. My
It looks
swab,
gorgeous.
let me go get it.
Yeah,
It's-
show it
it's
off.
It's off the blocking wires. I meant to bring it.
After seeing the sweaters made out of the Kent lace, I decided to rip out the 2 inches I'd done of the scarf and save it for a new sweater. So I have another skein coming today.
Uh-huh. I
I
really
just,
like, I really like the way
Here
Uh-oh,
it is.
you froze.
Oh, Anna's frozen.
Yeah, halfway through a sentence.
It's
Here's the squash.
Oh, beautiful.
If you can see it, I don't know what
A
you're
little
seeing.
farther back.
How's that? I've got it doubled up. So
Ah, oh, much better.
Is that Folsom? No,
this is Kent
it
lace.
looks.
the
There we
pattern though?
go.
Yeah, this is Kent lace.
What's the pattern?
Squall.
Oh, squall. I love
Yes,
that one.
and the definition is great. I can't believe the Kent, I mean, I don't mean to say it that way, but the Kent lace gives
It's
gave
gorgeous.
great definition.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous, Elizabeth. That's just
Thank you.
beautiful.
I enjoy knitting this pattern because it really keeps you attentive to the pattern. You know,
Yeah, we
I'm-
might have to borrow that.
okay, just let me know. But yeah, I really liked it. So
I
It's
just
really
finished,
pretty.
It came out
making
great.
violet out of the Kent lace, and that yarn is so nice to work with.
mhm.
And I love the sweater. I haven't taken pictures of it yet, but it's.
Oh, you finished it already?
I
Wow.
finished it. It took longer than it should have because I can't count anymore. But
I find that often lately.
I could
I
show
had
it.
to start the shawl 3 times.
Yeah, it came out great.
Cool.
But the Kent lace is a wonderful yarn.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We sort of got a teaser rain here today. It rained everywhere. It rained all around us. And we got like a light sprinkle. Other people were getting pounded and we got like nothing.
Well, that happened all day, but just now we just got, bombed with rain. Because it was supposed to rain all day here and thunderstorms in the morning and stuff, but it didn't pan out at all until just now, until just when I was coming over to the shop.
Of course, so you could be wet.
Yeah. And also so I could leave the dogs home scared by themselves.
Oh,
Oh,
I know. But David will bring them over when they calm down. I didn't want to bring them outside when it was like this. Cardigan is just beside herself.
Does Cardigan have a thunder shirt?
Yeah, they both have thunder shirts. They have Rescue Remedy and all kinds of,
Mhm.
I put lavender oil on her behind her ears and it helps, but this storm was really bad. The thunder was really bad. So she was spinning around in circles and just panting. Poor thing.
oh,
I know.
worst is the 4th of July.
Oh, and that's
Oh,
the other thing. Every
totally
single
freaked
night,
out.
every single night since Memorial Day, we've been dealing with fireworks here. So it just accumulates and accumulates, and I hope it doesn't shorten their lifespan to have to live like that.
We have a neighbor on the corner that started setting them off last week. And he gets these great big boomer type of fireworks.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
what's wrong?
Yeah, I mean, the other night at 3:00 in the morning, kaboom, somewhere, not very close by, but close enough that the whole house shook. And I was like, what, 3:00 in the morning?
What's wrong with these people?
Yeah, that was really disturbing.
Mm.
Mhm.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
How's everybody?
Hi.
Hi, Sherry.
Hello.
Robin, what was the name? You put a photo up on Instagram and I went back to try and find it and I might not have gone back far enough in my feed. But what was you had your photo taken with two men who have a podcast. Who are they and what's the name of their podcast?
The podcast is Needles at the Ready.
Okay.
And the guys' names are Kevin and Ray.
Okay.
They're really nice.
Did someone slip you some wheat, Robin?
I don't know what's wrong. 2 days in a row, when I come home in my own house, I have an allergic reaction to the air.
Oh,
I think we trying to work out the air conditioner is in the exhaust to get the hot air out from upstairs is drawing the smell from the fireplace.
Oh,
And it gives me a major allergic reaction.
Oh my.
oh, wow.
Yes.
Last night I had to take Benadryl and I ended up in bed at like 7:10 because I couldn't keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to knit too many. I only got to knit 4 rows on my new clue.
Well, that's what tonight is for.
Yeah.
I'm only on the first row of the new clue, so you don't have to feel bad.
Well, you're all ahead of me. I haven't downloaded it yet.
I'm on clue 2.
I can't resist downloading immediately.
But because I always want to be ready.
Just in case.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry, your garlic was beautiful.
Wasn't it? Oh my gosh, I was so surprised at how big.
Yeah, really nice. Mhm.
You pulled it
know.
already?
I pulled one because I couldn't resist. I wanted to see.
Uh-huh.
The last time
It's time to check. It's time.
it's as big as like a small orange,
Yeah.
so I was so excited because the last time I grew garlic, I think the cloves were like, the bulbs were like the size of walnuts. It was okay, it was usable, but it wasn't anything to write home about. But holy cow.
Wow.
You're ahead of us. We still just have scapes, the little tiny ones,
Yeah,
which I like.
no, it's a little warmer here, I think.
It's been really warm here.
Everything's early here, actually, earlier than usual.
Yeah. But our garlic it's not dying back that much, although we could still pull one and see. And this year, I asked David, please plant them a little further apart because we have been getting small heads, and it's because he's planting them, I think, too close together. Yeah. So hopefully, because we don't really need 150 heads of garlic anyway. I end up giving a lot of it away. So
I counted. I only have 20, but
Aw.
I'm pretty sure. Well, no, I'm
Oh.
pretty sure that'll be okay for us. I think because I looked it up again. It's the kind that doesn't last super long in storage,
Ah,
so it'll be fine for our needs. I think I might only have to buy a little bit like next spring.
oh, just ask me. I'll send you some. Don't buy it. Seriously,
Don't buy
like
it.
I probably have 30 or 50 heads left from last year.
Oh,
And
holy cow.
And the same thing
Wow.
happened last year. Like it took me until Christmas to use the year before. I didn't even get started using this last year's garlic until this year. And even though I gave quite a bit away, but I'm gonna have to give more of it away this year. It's funny because I wouldn't even know which ones would store better. Ours is so mixed up. Except, I mean, what Al sent us, David said he kept separate, but I don't know if he remembers where he put it. So, but our own garlic is just, who knows what it is. It's been mixed up over the years so much.
Well, I only just had one kind. I only bought one kind, and I didn't do any last year, so I didn't have any. So I know it's all this one kind. So it said 6 to 8 months, so I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty sure I could use 20 bulbs in 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, I mean, we usually go through probably like ourselves alone, we probably go through 100 or something. And then I like to give away a bunch. So if we grow like 130 or 140, that's plenty. But like last year we had about 160, I think, a lot.
Well, I'm excited to have it.
Yeah, you know what I do to kind of use it up is roast it. When I start roasting tomatoes to freeze, I roast it with the tomatoes and then put them in the boxes of tomato whole, when I freeze the tomatoes. And so then
Good idea.
when I use roasted tomatoes, there's whole roasted garlic in them. And nobody likes that.
No, it doesn't even smell good or anything, right?
I know. It's not good mashed up or anything.
No. I just cook up some pasta and throw that whole mess, the whole garlic cloves and the tomatoes and the olive oil and
yep. Or pizza sauce. Yeah.
nice.
Or if I cook Indian or anything, I use the roasted tomatoes for those kind of. What is that?
Sounded like a mandolin.
It might have been Carla. She turned on her voice for a second and then turned it off.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes people have stuff like that for their phone,
Ringtone.
their ringer,
Yeah.
ringtone. That's
Right.
Nice tone, if that's what it is.
That was a nice tone.
Or it sounded like a clock.
That could be.
I kept missing my phone
Wow.
screen whenever.
Well, I didn't realize how wet this sweatshirt had gotten. I'm wet all the way to my skin, actually, and I didn't
Oh
realize
my
it.
gosh.
I know. You know how close the house is literally 20 steps away. And I got soaked through 3 layers of clothing.
That's quite the storm. I wish we had some of it. Not the lightning, just the water.
Yeah, it's been really dry here, but the last 2 days have hopefully are making up for a little bit of that.
Hi guys, sorry, that was my phone. I was expecting a phone call and I missed it, of course. And I called the number back and it's, you are calling auto warranty services. No, that's not who I thought it was.
That's
So
not
sorry,
what I
that
want.
was my phone ringtone.
It was
Sorry.
nice. I liked it.
It is nice. I don't like those ones that are jarring.
Hey, Catherine.
Hey there.
Hi.
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 And I just have to say how much I'm enjoying this knit along, and this pattern is just so much fun to knit and see it emerge. It's the first time I've ever knitted anything not knowing what it's going to be. And I love Tuesday mornings because it comes in pretty much right away when I'm ready to start my day. And so this has been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Oh, good. Now we have to think of what we're doing next year.
Well, I'm glad you're thinking about doing another one.
Yeah, I mean, right after this, we'll do the Rhinebeck sweater knit along starting in August. But this has been a lot of fun, and next year we'll probably raise money for a dog. We'll do a dog fundraiser,
Yeah.
which I've always wanted to do, but didn't want to appear selfish or, but yeah, we'll do a dog fundraiser. That'll be fun.
I think that sounds nice.
Yeah. Well, I know, like right around us, we have so much need. There's so many challenges for dog rescues here. So.
Well, I'm hearing now that some of the people that bought or that adopted pets during the pandemic are returning them, which
Yeah,
I
surprise,
think
surprise.
is
Yeah.
absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
That's just rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working on a dog here that was loose up at the college campus. And we really had her kind of situated at the college campus with a food source and everything. And we were getting ready to trap her and she disappeared. And nobody was looking for this dog. And finally I tracked down who the owner is. They put up one little post online somewhere, and at first they were kind of cooperative, but then they stopped responding to me. So I feel kind of bad now, that poor little dog, she's moved on and we're still looking for her, but her owner isn't. And that's just really,
Oh, that's sad.
I really think, like, yeah, if I had her and they could come pick her up, I think they would have done it, but they're just not interested in actually doing the work. And that's just disappointing.
Yeah.
Yes, somebody posted on our neighborhood group lately, picture of this cute little dog, found this little guy wandering around such and such, and good description and photo and everything. And if he belongs to you, obviously very friendly and everything, and nobody's responded to it. And it just breaks my heart.
Maybe he was dumped. Sometimes people, they'll know to drop it in a neighborhood where somebody will take care of it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm suspicious of.
And you'd be surprised how far dogs can travel, either when they're stolen. Sometimes people steal dogs and then dump them, and they could be several states away. And there's a lot of incredible stories of dogs that end up thousands of miles away, and some dogs will travel by themselves even too.
They have an incredible homing instinct.
Are tons of people in the KAL traveling this week, or I wasn't able to be on last week, so I'm wondering if people are just, off doing things, or
Well, Josie's out with her mom right now, who had
that.
a stroke.
Yeah, that I knew.
That's the only one I know about. Elizabeth, you might know more.
I do not. I know I'm not going anywhere.
Me neither.
Nope, we're hanging at home.
Yeah. I'm going to cook out at my daughter's, and that's about it.
Oh, that sounds good.
Fantasies about traveling.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a cookout for our neighbors.
That's what I usually do, but this year half my neighborhood is traveling because of COVID. They get to move now, so it feels like a lot of people are traveling. Based on the tourism here at Wrightsville Beach, it's packed already. It's a little early and it's already like completely madhouse here. So
last week was really quiet. Then it picked up over the weekend, you know, like in terms of sales and stuff. I kind of go by that because that tells us oftentimes if people are home or whatever. And I feel like last week it was kind of really dead and quiet, and then it picked up over the weekend. So I think quite a few people got away the weekend before, you know.
Well,
Maybe for graduation, maybe people traveled more for graduations and stuff. I don't know. Or Father's Day.
well, my biggest problem this weekend is figuring out what yarn of yours to order for the Rhinebeck KAL, because I got the sale email this afternoon. And I'm leaning towards the Target because I'm loving it. And also Julie,
Here they come.
I love Julie's Target stuff so much that I'm leaning towards the sweater quantity of the Target.
Oh, let me get Barb knit something with the Target that you might want to. Hi
Van
girls.
Dyke?
Hi girls. They're here now. Look at them. I wish you could see them. Let me see if I can. Hey girls, come here. Come here. Oh, here they are. Hi girls. Oh, did you miss me? Huh? I heard that she took over my chair a couple weeks ago when during the Zoom when a customer came in.
Oh, yeah.
Let me get the sweater. Hang on a second.
yeah, Catherine, you weren't on yet when I admitted I already ordered 2 sweater quantities using the code we got today.
Smart girl. Smart girl.
I
I'm
did
totally down
one.
with that.
Yeah. So I couldn't decide, so I got both.
Well, what'd you get?
It's fair.
I got Kent DK in warm coals, and I got to make her home office pullover, and then I got more Target sport to make.
Oh, you got the sport weight.
Yeah, I already have the worsted sweater quantities. So.
I know. That's why I'm like, oh.
So I got this same color as I'm doing in the knit to make a cardigan. I was holding it up next to my clothes, and I was like, oh, that'll go with so many things if I make a cardigan with that.
Gotcha. Well, and there's that one color of fin I don't have yet, which is pear.
Oh, well, you gotta do it.
That's not, I don't think that's on sale, is it? The fin.
Oh,
I
it's
didn't
not
see
on
the
sale?
list. I don't think that was one of the ones on the list.
Oh, of course, did I read the email? No. Of course not.
Yeah, I was cross-referencing my stash, and listing what I had, so I didn't double up on something. And realized that was not on it.
Barb knit this bondage with Target Tango worsted.
Oh my.
Oh.
Hang on. Sorry, I got my arms up in front of it. So
Wow. Oh, that came out beautifully.
Nice.
That's better than her pictures
Wow.
on Ravelry.
Anne, can you talk? Can you stand up and talk again so that it's big on you? Just
Can
say
you see it now? I don't
Those
know. I have to get
cables are gorgeous in that yarn. Oh,
They really
Yeah, they're
pop.
really beautiful. Yep.
Which color is that?
This is the Argentine.
nice.
You know, she said it's Argentine, but I don't believe her.
I don't believe her either.
It looks darker.
I thought it was Nuevo. Oh no, it's Argentine. Yeah.
I guess it's the lighting, because that definitely looks darker than this.
So this is the short one, the short bandage.
I like it that way.
I like it.
Yeah.
When I made it, I made the long one and it was in the original yarn that you designed it in.
The
and
red.
Yeah.
It was
The
too
Spirit
heavy.
Trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Spirit Trail.
That's
I
kind
think
of
it's better
drool worthy
Spirit.
there, Anne.
Very much.
Really nice. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow, that's lovely.
Yeah.
It was a quick sweater, as I recall knitting it in. It was pretty
Super
to
quick.
knit.
Yeah. It's like
It was-
size 10 needles,
It
and
was quicker than
it's all in one piece up to the underarm.
yeah.
And then it
went-
has a set in sleeve. But yeah, I mean, it's like 3.5 stitches to the inch and 6 rows or something. So you really can make progress very quickly.
Doesn't look like it'd be quick.
I know, but it really was. The cables were cinchy and
Yeah.
great.
And there's
I'm
no
totally
seam. I mean,
sold.
the only seaming is in the sleeve. So
I love that collar too.
yeah.
I mean, it's the perfect fall, like jacket sweater.
Yeah.
It's so perfect for fall.
Right.
What's the name of that one?
Vendange.
Vendange. Vendange.
Oh, I got hot dogs I gotta let in. Oh. So I have something funny to show you guys. You guys are the only people in the world who would appreciate this. I finished chart C and I was admiring my work. And I realized, looking at it, you know, towards the end of chart C where you have like 2 rows that have lots of pearls in them on the front side. Well, I had, and that's what makes this pattern like so freaking awesome.
You should say spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. Sorry. Anybody spoilers? That was my bad.
Okay.
Go for
Is
it.
everybody okay? Otherwise I won't show it.
It's okay.
Okay. I did not do the pearl where I was supposed to right there,
Ah, yes.
but because the pattern is like so fractured, it's like the first time I haven't ripped it out and gone back and fixed it.
I'm so
And-
proud of you.
It's really hard because it makes no sense to do it, and it totally works in the pattern,
The design element.
A good idea.
Right.
right? So I am
Good for you.
going with it.
Good
So
for you.
I'm really sorry. I forgot spoiler, and I'm such a non-spoiler person. So I really apologize to everybody for that.
So my sad story is that I had done the first 2 clues, lickety split. I was started clue 3, and then I was looking at it and there was a mistake way back, like halfway through the first chart on the decrease sign. So I tore it out and I thought I was where I was, and I started knitting again all the way back up to clue 3, and it just wasn't right. It wasn't working out right. So I had to rip it all the way to nothing because I was so screwed up. It's
But
like a
that's
sad
kind of
story.
like normal for you. You take back all the time. Every time I'm with you in person, you're ripping it out.
That's why it's so embarrassing.
No, but that's just your way.
It's okay.
Not
I mean, by
embarrassing.
the third
Yeah.
time, it really knits up easy.
not fun. But I was doing something wrong. So I started over and then I did the cast on wrong about 6 times in a row. Now I'm well back into clue 2.
Well, at least you
You'll
have,
get there.
you have a
You'll
way
get
to
there.
catch up.
I've definitely been known to do that too. And I know that if it's a glaring error that I'm unhappy with, I'm a lot happier if I rip back and redo it.
It would have been simple if that's all I did. But
Oh,
then I started doing something really strange with the right twist. Somehow halfway through, I started actually knitting them together. So the stitch count just kept coming out wrong. And
That will do it.
then I figured, finally, like woke up in the middle of the night and thought, what the hell am I doing? Knitting them together. So anyway.
I think it's funny. Like I knit 3 of them for different types of yarn and stuff, and I made different kinds of mistakes on all of them the same way. So like the first one, I kept forgetting, I would get going and just be in my head, and instead of doing the decrease at the end, I would do a twist, and then I would find out on the next row that I have an extra stitch there, and then on a different one, several times I turned, like you said, a right twist into a knit 2 together, and
Thank you, Anne, for saying
and I
that.
don't even do my twist and then I don't even use the knit 2 together method to do my twists, but somehow I did it anyway. And it's just stupid stuff like that.
Thank you. You made me feel better.
I get into like I don't even know I'm doing it. It's like a completely unconscious, repeatable mistake that I keep doing in like the project, and I can't stop doing it.
And don't forget, like I tore out that Costa Figuera 3 times. So I knit it 4 times total.
Yeah.
I kept dropping these stupid, stockinette stitches, like randomly here or there. It was just like I took it for granted.
Now the sun is out after all that.
Yeah, we got about 3 raindrops a little while ago, and now it's stopped. So,
but it was like that all day here today. It was supposed to rain all day, and instead we would get this like smattering of like dewdrops, and then finally at 5 o'clock, just before 5 o'clock, it just let loose.
we would love to get some rain.
Yeah.
We've had plenty here.
Oh, it should come here then. If you've had it out there, should come here, but
I've had plenty.
Really,
Yeah.
it Sherry, it was really dry here for the whole last weekend, so hot, and then just yesterday night it finally rained pretty good, and then tonight pretty good.
We've got quite a bit of flooding and such like things going on.
Oh my gosh, did you guys see on the news the flash flooding in Zion in Utah, Zion National Park?
Wow.
No.
OMG. I mean, it's so deserty out there, and they had full on like, Niagara Falls / flooding. It just
because it's so dry that the rain can't go anywhere except on top. Yeah. Can't soak in. Of course, we're gonna pay for it by weeding all weekend, but that's okay. We really needed it.
Well, I can say that this year is the first time I think maybe only the second time in more than 10 years, we've only been in the 80s at this time of year.
Huh.
So 4th of July is only supposed to be mid 80s. Like that never happens here. So.
And it's been so hot here and it's kind of early for it to be this hot,
Yeah.
like 90.
Well, then it's like 100 and God knows what in Canada, like where Jose is and Seattle too. Audrey's bees have got to be losing their mind.
Yeah, it's like 100 here right now.
Wow, that's hot.
Yeah. It
It was
rained
like-
the other day and it didn't cool it off at all. It just made it worse. Then it was like, you walked outside and the air was just so thick.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it was like that here yesterday. The last 2 days have been in the 90s and humidity anywhere from like 77% to 90%, which is pretty high. And then last night it broke open and it did cool down. It felt really nice. We had fans going all over the place to bring the cool air in.
Jose is coming on.
Hi,
Yay.
Jose.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey,
Girlfriend.
Good to see you.
How are you?
good. Good.
How's
You're not
mom?
in your woman cave, are you? I see
No,
yellow.
you're in
No,
Morel.
I'm in my mom's house.
That's what
I'm
I
in the
thought.
family
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The homestead.
Yes, where it's stinking hot and humid.
Mm.
We were
Okay,
just discussing.
Yeah.
Really important question. At any time while you're at the homestead, would any of us have the smallest chance of seeing your brother walk by the screen?
Yeah.
Just asking.
He was here on the weekend and
Oh,
he's
we
coming
missed
back
him.
Friday, so sorry, you're out of luck.
And
I
But I'll
asked just
tell
to
him that
tease
his
you.
adoring fans were asking about him.
Yeah.
for
I
those
just
who don't
asked
know
to
what
tease
what
you.
we're talking about, maybe you'll post a link in the chat. So
Yeah, I
they
could do that. Yeah. See, I don't feel that way about him.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
He
He's your
doesn't
brother.
turn me into.
I don't feel that way about him either. I just love teasing you about it.
Well, yes. Some pictures would be nice.
I know every girlfriend I brought home wanted to know if he was single and.
It's the worst because then you don't know if they're friends with you for the right reasons. I have that too.
Jose's brother looks like he stepped right out of the set of Outlander or something.
Yeah.
Or some Nordic fantasy.
Romance cover. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Robin, you'll get it. You'll all
It-
get it if there's a
Jose,
picture.
it really is time to share another glimpse of a picture or something, because there's so many new people now.
Yes, I should. I'll
Get right on it.
I'll see what I can do.
My best description of him is he's like a cross between Fabio and Jamie from Outlander.
Yeah.
He's got long hair like Fabio and that
La 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 la.
muscular build, but he's got that gentle appeal in the face like Jamie. He doesn't have that really Italian Mediterranean face.
No. It
Very-
helped. I mean, and he's a really nice guy as well.
Thank you.
So
And he's not married?
not married. I think his heart was broken twice and that was it for him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he is he really is. Isn't he a stunt person or something? What does he do again?
he makes
made-
armor.
Armors.
Oh, he makes armor. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he did stunt work or something like that.
Well, he has appeared in a couple of movies but that was just
so.
because, they asked
Yeah.
but that was not his gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know somebody whose brother is a stunt actor,
Yeah.
Well, I'm on
For
call, so we gotta
similar
go.
reasons. For similar reasons that he's like. Oh,
But he
God.
basically does the iron metal version of knitting. When
Yeah.
he makes all that armor and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he would have a lot in common with any one of you. Just saying.
You gotta like living in the country and taking in rescue dogs.
Hey,
Seems like
that.
the right crowd for that.
Yeah, I think so, eh?
We were just talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah, they take in
Well-
dogs and
How's it going in Montreal?
good.
Good?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Is it super hot there?
It's better. It's rained a bit. But it's been stinking hot and my mom doesn't believe in air conditioning, so it's been
It's warm.
3 showers a day and changing my clothes 3 times a day and
Oh my.
that's okay.
Is she still in the hospital, did you say?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, she's gonna have to go to rehab after.
Oh. Will that change your travel plans? Will you stay longer?
Could be.
Okay.
I mean, I have my other sister is going to relieve me probably for August, but I'm here for July.
And you were able to travel from New Brunswick to Quebec?
Yeah, hopefully they let me back in. Yeah, there was no problem coming to Quebec. Going back, I have to fill out my travel plans 5 days ahead of time and have that ready and show my proof of vaccination and all of that. Because the Atlantic provinces have been really good and they want to keep it that way, so.
If you couldn't, you could still go to Rhinebeck though, right? And then just go back to Montreal.
Better come to
But
Rhinebeck.
there's the small matter of opening up the border, right?
Right.
I mean, I live in hope. I've got my tickets and we'll see.
And my husband wants to go up to Quebec City this fall and just explore around. And so he's been looking at all kinds of things on the internet. And the other day I said, well, let's just hope that the border's open. He said, what? Yeah.
Yeah. It's been closed for a while now.
Yeah. I said, keep an eye on that before you drive clear across the US. And but he loves an adventure. So
yeah,
he would probably
That would be
do
quite
just
an
fine.
adventure.
And it would give me the house to myself for a lot of knitting time. So I'd be good with that.
I'm
Maybe
so
more than
glad I
five.
brought 5 projects
Mm.
because I can't go to the hospital until 2. And after a couple of hours, my mom gets tired, so I
Hey,
come
you're
here.
done.
So I've never been this long alone in this house, and so I guess once it cools off, maybe I'll start cleaning. Not that it needs it, but what else am I gonna do?
I hear that.
Yeah. Is anybody finished?
Somebody posted a finished picture this morning on the
Mhm.
Ravelry thread, but I haven't heard about it today here, so maybe not on the Cal.
That blows me away.
Yeah, somebody had finished clue 4 by like noontime or it just felt like it was an hour after I posted it when I saw it.
Pretty quick.
No,
I
that's fast.
finished it at lunch today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Fast.
It does go
I'm-
fast.
Well,
I'm
the
the
rows,
first
the
row.
rows are so much shorter
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah, it starts to really feel like, oh, it's going quickly.
And I think the 32 row chunks are just right.
They're
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Not overwhelming and it's good. Especially if you only have to do them once.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
helps.
I keep looking to make sure it doesn't say repeat chart twice or something.
Good idea.
Right?
I hadn't
That's what I
thought
do
of
as
that.
well.
And do you have a start date for the Rhinebeck KAL? Because I think I might cast on a sweater next week. because we have an off week.
Mhm.
Mm.
I'm trying to decide what sweater based on the KAL.
We're having our company meeting tomorrow, so we'll probably decide then because there's almost everyone is going on vacation in August, so I just want to make sure we do it when it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
I think we can start it. I mean, not that we can't start it when they're away. I don't want to start.
Yeah.
I don't start it the week after vacation because they will be away and it won't be organized. You know, it'd be better if we start it before they go on vacation. So I think it's going to be like the second week of August,
Okay.
like whatever that. Hang on, I'm texting David and then I'll look at the calendar.
Oh, I don't have to have an answer. I'm just curious because it would help me decide. Like, I'm thinking maybe either whole grain or multi-grain because I might blow through that fast before the KAL kind of thing.
Those go quick.
I think I could have finished this clue if the yarn didn't keep sticking to my hands because it's so hot.
Hard to knit when it's
I
humid.
hate that when
It's yeah, I'm sitting in air conditioning and it's just not helping that much with the yarn.
Okay, let me see. So yeah, maybe August 4th or the 11th. So it'll be either one of those.
Okay.
I think those guys like leave on vacation the 8th or the 9th. Yeah. Kaya's. Yeah, they leave on the 8th. So if we have it all set up by then and we start on the 11th, that'd be fine. Oh, and we'll be back to Saturdays too. So maybe we'll start on the 7th.
Oh.
Cast on the 6th and start Zooms on the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what's the format? Is it just choose a sweater pattern that you would knit for Rhinebeck?
Yeah, it can be any sweater pattern of mine or any yarn of ours and somebody else's pattern if you want. And the goal is to get it knit by Rhinebeck, to wear to Rhinebeck.
Can a non-Rhinebeck going knitter participate in the KAL?
I hope so.
because there's because I think there's online Rhinebeck anyway. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. You know,
Everyone like an online wine tasting.
Yeah, everyone goes to Rhinebeck in their mind, right? So
Yeah.
Right.
For instance, I'm planning to do the Snowberry cardigan in Stone Soup. And it's a Jessica McDonald, I think is her last name.
uh-huh.
And that's the one that I'm going to do. So with Bare Naked Wools, but with a different pattern. It was a collaboration. So.
Yeah. Yes. And by then we will have released the Champlain pullover, the yoke sweater that I did for by hand cereal.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that one.
And yeah, we'll have at least one more new release and maybe two by then, or another new one forthcoming. So much to knit.
I am so in awe of how many new patterns you put together. So it seems like so easily and so frequently.
You're very prolific, and that's good for all of us.
Yeah. it's funny because I've always been that way, but I love this new format of doing the knit-alongs instead of the and the subscription instead of the club, because a great portion of my work was released inside the clubs and never, like, a lot of people just never saw it. It, even when it was released later for general purchase, it would fly under the radar a lot. So this way, all my work is more visible and available to everybody.
Well, the barn box formula is really good too, because then we get kind of the surprise of a club. And I like being able to choose amongst the patterns.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little more choice. And, you know, I try to have a new pattern almost every time.
You've been good about that.
Yep. So.
So how's everyone's weather? We had a 30 to 40 degree drop overnight on Monday night, which was quite welcome here in Seattle area.
I bet.
Bringing you all the way down to the high 80s, probably.
To the high 80s. That's right.
Yeah.
It was the high 80s yesterday, but last night it was down to a more seasonable evening cool of about 64.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. And the garden was interesting because tomatoes, peppers, basil, melons continued to grow, but the raspberries basically did nothing. And I went out this morning and got 8 quarts because it was back to the weather where it can absorb water and function. Crazy.
I grew up in Louisiana, and the first time I ever had fresh raspberries was in Seattle. And I was just amazed. The daughter and the family I was staying with had a boyfriend, and he brought over like a dough bowl size bowl of raspberries. And I just couldn't believe my eyes or my tongue. It was great.
Well, that's every night. I alternate between strawberries and raspberries right now, and just heaping bowls. It's not something I grew up with, and I'm loving it. I'm going to turn that clock off.
Yeah, I need to check I noticed our blueberry bushes are packed with blueberries, unlike last year. And some of them are probably almost time to pick.
That's yummy.
Yeah, we planted them a few years ago in a community cooperative effort, right, Catherine? Catherine was traveling from North Carolina to Rhinebeck in her vehicle, and she was driving herself. And we were driving from Ohio, and I don't even remember how we got talking about it. I'm like, yeah, I was gonna order these blueberry bushes from New Jersey, and I'm thinking about making a side trip to pick them up. She's like, I'll pick them up. I have to go right through there. So she picked up our blueberry shrubs and transported them to Rhinebeck, and they were big. There was like 5 of them, and plus those aronia bushes too. So
I forgot about those.
And those, by the way, are huge. Like, they're like 6 feet or 7 feet tall now, and they're always covered with berries. And I keep trying to get David to maybe transplant them to the front of the house where they would actually have some stature, you know, stand out. Anyway, the first year we got some berries, and last year we didn't get berries. They kind of struggled last year, but this year they're packed. So
Yeah, that was funny. I went out to that guy's farm, and it was like just north of Atlantic City, but not quite at the beach. And it was all farms. So you're thinking like, oh, people will be pretty nice. And the guy has a sign at the gate where he's like, oh, if you're here to buy bushes, pull up here, honk your horn, somebody will come. And it was like all of a sudden I was in this weird cross episode of The Sopranos and like a farming show, because it was very suspicious, Italian, cliquey, what are you doing here? Who's your father? Kind of like, what, you know? And I was like, I'm just here to buy some blueberry shrubs. Oh, okay. And then like he calls, you know, some lower.
But the weird thing was you had called ahead. Like you made an appointment to be there.
I know. I even called when I left the New Jersey Turnpike, like, oh, I'll be there in 15 minutes. So it was all really weird. It was just like, yeah.
So and then not only that, but about several months later, they called me and they're like, hey, really? you know how you put off buying those blueberry shrubs 6 months ago? Do you want them now? I'm like, we picked them up. We picked them up in person. She's like, oh, I don't have that written down here. So in other words, it couldn't have happened. You know? I'm like, well, I guess I don't know what happened on your end, but we picked them up. So
yeah, you know, if they're that disorganized, you know, the IRS has already been out there like 3 times.
Right. Perhaps the nursery business is only a side business.
Well, it's a huge blueberry. Exactly. It's a huge family blueberry farm that's been in operation since like 1900. It is like a whole, you know, it is a whole thing. And their website is very friendly. They offer so much information about growing blueberries. But that's what was so funny about when she got there, and the guy was so mean.
And he was the owner too. And he wasn't just mean to me. He was totally horrible to the farmhands. It was just like, yeah, okay, you're gonna pistol whip both of us? Can I, you know, have the $5 blueberry shrub? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah. And the reason that we went through all this was like the blueberry shrubs, for 5 of them was, I'm just going to throw a number out, but it was quite inexpensive. It was like $50, but to have them shipped was like $225. You know? So we just figured we'll take care of this when we're going that way. And then, Catherine graciously offered to do it. So when we were at our cabin in Rhinebeck, we had blueberry bushes on the porch the whole time we were there.
I think that was the year you designed multigrain.
I think you're right.
I remember the photo shoot with David at the wood pile.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, we've only had them a few years. So
when our first kid was about 3 months old, we moved to New Jersey to Cherry Hill. But we went somewhere along the way. We were in Philly, maybe before we moved into our house, and we went to this Italian restaurant. And I'm a new mom. I've never been to that part of the country. I've seen movies about Italians, and I've seen movies about the mafia and stuff. We go to this Italian restaurant, and we're eating, and I'm holding Sonia, and one of the waitresses comes up and kind of scoops her out of my arms and just wanders off with her. And I'm like, oh, that's really nice. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, is she gonna bring her back? What's going on here? She was fun.
Well, I lived in Italy. So, you know, even this was surprising, the way that this guy treated me. So.
Well,
I live in New Jersey, in the place where The Sopranos is actually about. They wouldn't let them, in my hometown, they wouldn't let them film episodes of it because they thought it would give the town a bad reputation. So they just talked about the town and filmed it in the town next door. And so the town lost out on the money they could have made from it. So, but like if you've watched, have you guys seen The Sopranos? Like the last episode, the place where that's filmed, we used to go there in high school for. It's
Oh,
really an
yeah.
ice cream parlor. I don't know why they were eating onion rings, but like a friend of mine worked there in high school and stuff. So yeah, I'm familiar. And I'm not Italian. So even though we moved to that town, we moved to Nutley when I was in kindergarten, we were outsiders
Oh, yeah.
for all those years.
We lived and worked in Cherry Hill area for a year. When we lived in Jersey City, but we got but we did a gig at Lockheed Martin down there for a whole year, doing like working on a Coast Guard a big proposal for the Coast Guard. Doing graphic design stuff and everything. That was kind of when we started thinking about leaving New York, because it was so nice. You know, we did live in a motel, but what was nice was like we lived 5 minutes from the office, and we could be home in 5 minutes and on our bikes 15 minutes after we got out of work. It was like so amazing. And that's why we started thinking about like, oh, what if we lived somewhere else where it didn't take 2 hours to get home from work?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting now. Like my boyfriend, we live outside the city, but his job is in the city. And they're starting to have people go back into work. And so people who weren't commuting had regained 2 hours of their lives every day. And now what's going to happen? I think a lot of businesses are going to lose a lot of people because people don't want to commute.
Rumor
They
is
found out what it's like
Civil
not
War.
to.
And
Yeah,
there are lots of jobs now that will let you work at home too.
Yeah.
I mean, and after 9/11, we were commuting 2 hours each way. So it was a lot of found time.
Yeah.
Yeah, rumor is even at Apple, which has always had a liberal like work from wherever you want policy, there's a full-blown civil war going on because there is some expectation that people come back to the office, and it's like apparently total turmoil. And some businesses are giving ultimatums and they're getting really strong pushback. And because the employment market is so in the favor of the employee, there's a lot of tension. So I think you're totally right, Julie. I think it's gonna be really interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, because competitors are gonna, like, that's gonna be a big leg up on some companies gonna say, we'll take you and let you work 4 days a week from home.
Yep. I've heard that as people are being requested to go back into the office, a lot of them are saying no. And when they're pressed, they say, I'm done. I quit. I'm not coming back into the office.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or
I
I'm
worked
not
from
coming
home
back to New
for
York, or I'm not,
almost
yeah.
30 years, you know, before it was even a thing. And I would have a very hard time going back into the office. I like to be able to go and, you know, put a pot of pasta sauce on the stove and let that simmer while I'm working, or
Yeah.
put a load of laundry in.
Yeah, and I would think for people that have families, even though there are challenges to working at home when the kids are home, that if you can work at home when the kids go back to school, it would be a lot easier on family life. Like it would mean that you could take some of your evening stuff that you have to do and spread it throughout, like do it on your lunch hour, and like you say, you know, run the laundry machines while you're working and stuff like that. That would just ease up just a little bit on your family time, you know. But how great would it be if they could go back to soccer without going back to soccer?
Just play in the backyard, kids.
Yeah, yeah.
I know we've talked about, we are so glad that we don't own office space for rental, because I think a lot of office space is going to be vacant.
Yeah.
some people want to go back. Like one of my friends at work, when we had the option of teaching from home in the afternoon or on certain days, and she went in and taught from a classroom at school, even when we were remote. And the main reason was she has a Newfoundland and 4 cats. And she said they constantly would want to go out. And as soon as they were out, they wanted to come back. She would sit down, be trying to teach the class, and they would want to come back in. And so it was, the pets were making her crazy. So.
Yes,
It's
my
like
cat has made appearances on
somebody-
Zoom.
I knew somebody who had a year-old child, and it was like a similar situation where whenever she tried to go out, the kid would start crying. You know how when they understand that their mother goes away, they suddenly miss her. So she used to actually she'd have a babysitter a few days a week so she could work at home, but she would actually get dressed, put her coat on, grab her purse and her keys, and she'd go out the door and then go down into the basement from outside to go to work. So the kids would think that she actually left the building. She was really down in the basement the whole time.
Oh, I can totally see that.
Yeah, it's a really brilliant idea.
It is.
I don't know how the kids are going to feel about that when they find out when they're grown up and they find out their mom was hiding from them in the basement.
I think it's well, if you go to the expense of hiring a babysitter, you need to make it worth it if you work at home. And
oh, I totally get it. I just think it's going to be funny. Like their reaction is going to be interesting in a few years.
Therapy in their future.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like suddenly telling them they were adopted or something. You know what I mean?
No.
she did, and she did go to work. She didn't go down there to watch TV
Yeah.
and put her feet up. I mean, she,
I hear husbands.
I hear Al.
No,
No, Robin's on mute.
With Matagorda County Sheriff's Department.
Not here.
it's Becky's iPad.
Sorry. So I was trying to get my picture up, but I don't know how to do it, ladies. Sorry.
Do you have something that says start?
Should be a camera on the corner.
Called video button, maybe?
Yeah,
There you go. Oh, no.
there.
Oh, hi.
There you are.
I get a kick out of all of you. And I went on this morning and I saw all of the, I cheated. I went to the Ravelry, whatever the word is, where I could see all of your work.
Spoiler.
Thank you. It's so beautiful. Everybody's are just coming right along.
I love the one, Jose, the fact that you're using a yarn that has that halo is really pretty.
Yeah, it wasn't fun knitting with this yesterday, let me tell you. The
I
mohair
bet.
was sticking to me and I was overheating, but I think it's gonna be a great one for fall and winter for sure. It's so soft.
What kind of yarn are you using, Jose?
I just used, I've got Sweet Georgia yarn,
Okay.
a cash silk lace, and Angel, Debbie Bliss Angel. So the two together. I'll show you the back of it. That's what it looks like. Oh, front.
That's going to be nice.
Yeah. It's
Really
super soft,
pretty.
really soft.
Well, speaking of sweaters for shawls, a couple weeks ago, we had friends in town from Florida and we had a little get together at the house and we were all out in the backyard as the evening got cool. And so I ran in and got a bunch of shawls and brought out for the ladies that were there. And I have a really cool picture of my friend wearing like 3 different knit spot shawls at once.
You'll have.
That's
to
like Cynthia at her daughter's wedding. Is Cynthia gone? Cynthia's gone.
Yeah, she's gone.
When her daughter got married, she had a basket of her shawls. They had an outdoor wedding, and she had a basket of shawls sitting, you know, like next to the bar or something. And all the guests, as the wedding went into the evening in Maine and it got cool, all the women were wearing all of her different shawls and like knit spot shawls from all the different clubs and stuff. So like the pictures of the wedding, I remember just seeing like, oh yeah, I remember that shawl. You know, it's really cool to see everybody wearing them at once.
That's a great idea.
Did she count them before and after?
I think she put out, I think the wedding was like maybe 50 people at the most. So she put out like 30 shawls or something, 20. And I think some were taken home. It was mostly family. So I think a lot of them went with the family members.
It's not like she's not going to knit more.
Exactly.
She does a lot of knitting. I'm pretty excited. I've been knitting this long sleeve version of that firefly top. So finally got through the body, and I'm about to bind off for the back yoke and then start the front, which is much less knitting. So I'm hoping by tomorrow night I have this finished.
Wow. Can you hold it up again?
Okay, so it's knit in the round to the underarm. So this is the body. It's got lace at the sides, and then there's long sleeves that are lace.
And it's called Firefly?
Yes.
Is that
And
one of yours?
I have a completed version that's the short sleeve. I think I showed it. Did I show it last?
Oh, yeah, it looks familiar. Yeah.
In the fresh lace. Yeah. And it's all blocked and everything. Like this isn't blocked. So
pretty.
Hoping the pattern's been through tech editing. So I'm hoping maybe it'll be ready for release next week. And if not next week, the week after.
What's the yarn again?
You can knit it in fresh lace, modern deco lace, or Kent lace. And yes, I have yardages, but no, I don't have them here. No, I mean, basically, again, the small size, the long sleeve version takes 1,600 yards, and the short sleeve, shorter body, short sleeves takes like 1,200 yards or something like that.
I have a blocking question.
Yes.
When I hear people say they block aggressively, I sort of thought it meant that your project was a little bit undersized, so you stretched it to block aggressively. But I'm wondering if it means something else, Anne, because you say you really tug and pull on things when you block. Now, I've done that with socks or with hats, but never would occur to me to do it with a sweater or a shawl.
I wouldn't do it I don't generally do it with a sweater. You know, once in a while I might want the sweater to be like a 1/2 inch bigger or 1 inch bigger, and you don't usually have to aggressively block to do that.
Okay.
But But with lace shawls, I almost always block aggressively, meaning I thread everything onto blocking wires and pull as far as I can and pin it so that the lace opens up as much as possible. Or even if it's not lace fabric, if it's like this shawl is so far at least doesn't have any lace. So I block aggressively with shawls to keep the fabric light and open.
Well, and it's tight as a drum, because I'm an aggressive blocker, and I pin out like the top, and then
Yeah.
pull down, and it is taut.
Yeah, really pull it taut. And
Of course,
you know,
I've soaked it for anywhere from a half an hour to an hour. So
or 2 days.
Yeah, or however long it takes.
Just forget it's there.
Right.
So here's my wing of the moth. And
Uh-huh.
what you said, Anne, was that when you did your left twists, yours were not equal. It didn't look uniform to the right twists, but you blocked aggressively, and you kind of implied, I thought, that you pulled in different directions to get the left, and then the left and the right did look uniform.
Yeah, mine straightened out. They don't always, but in that shawl they did. Yeah.
But I would imagine this shawl is a much more open lace, the wing of the moth, and lighter weight yarn for sure. I would be disinclined to try to pull and stretch in all directions while it's wet, because it just feels like crepe paper sometimes, these big shawls.
Yeah. With that shawl, you really do want to block aggressively, because if you look at the back side and you see those little cone-shaped bumps.
Oh, you mean my egg carton look?
Yeah, you want that to all flatten out. So
Yeah.
it's not going to flatten out unless you pull pretty hard. You know, I mean, we're not talking about a tractor pull, but you know,
there's the egg carton look.
Yeah, as much as you can block it. And once you wet that fiber, it's going to relax a lot anyway. But yeah, you want to pretty much stretch it to its max.
Okay.
And you'll be surprised how strong the fiber is, because I do the same thing. I put it on blocking wires and I just stretch the heck out of it. And I look at it and sometimes I'll say, yeah, I can get that another ½ inch, and pull on it. And I've gotten to the point where it's like, I better quit because the fibers might break, but I'm going to try for another ½ inch.
Yeah.
You would be surprised at how strong.
You don't really have to worry about tearing it. I mean, the fiber is, well, protein fibers are somewhat weakened by being soaked full of water, and that's what makes them able to be stretched. But they are strengthened by being spun into yarn in the first place. So spinning makes them stronger. So you have that big factor working in your favor. And the tighter the twist, the stronger it is. And your plant fibers, if you're working with the deco, for instance, the tencel is a plant-based synthetic, or if you're working with the linen yarn, those, and cotton as well, plant fibers actually get stronger when they're wet. So they are, all fibers are more malleable, but cellulose fibers do actually gain strength when they're wet. So they're harder. They're harder to tear apart. Like if you wet cotton and try to pull it, it's much more difficult to break.
Okay, because that helps me a bunch.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, but finer yarn isn't necessarily weaker. Oftentimes it's stronger because it has to be spun more tightly to be fine. And fibers that you think might be soft and weak, like silk, is actually one of the strongest fibers on earth. So it's kind of interesting when you start delving into it, finding out the different qualities of different fibers.
Yet silk, when it's dry, can not hold its shape well.
Right, but that's not a matter of strength. It's just a matter of it character.
It's character, okay.
Yeah, its actual tensile strength is quite high.
Okay.
That's why, you know, originally that's why they made parachutes and everything with it.
Well, I guess I hadn't thought about that. I've
And, you
never
know, and there's
jumped
a whole,
off an airplane. I usually try to stay on them.
there's a whole fiber industry that has revolved around trying to replicate silk fiber ever since World War II and has failed miserably and generated many other fiber options in the process, but never ever come even really close to replicating silk. So it is kind of magical. Cindy, did you have a question?
Yes, I did. Well, it's a two-part question. I did get the email about the discount on the yarns. And what I'm looking for is the very, very softest yarn. And then what is the very, very easiest sweater to make with that yarn?
I will let other people jump in here, of course, but probably the Better Breakfast is our softest. If it's because someone's sensitive to wool, though, I would say like the Modern Deco is really nice against your skin too.
But I don't think it's part of the sale, right?
No. I don't have the sale stuff in front of me. But the Better Breakfast is one. And you know, I really love the Stone Soup, but I know everybody might not agree with me about that one.
No, I would think Stone Soup over Better Breakfast.
I personally, I mean, Better Breakfast is the softest yarn that's on sale, but I personally react more to alpaca. So the Stone Soup, which has far less alpaca, actually is, to me, more comfortable. And the hemp is on sale that we have left. I mean, that doesn't really have much wool at all in it, and that's really soft.
Having just made that her home office out of the Stone Soup DK and having multiple people feel it, every single person said it was super soft, and I thought that pattern was really nice and easy and rhythmic, repeated. You could follow it really easy, and that would be my thought.
I agree. That's a super easy pattern.
Yep.
Seafret is another favorite of people who are doing their first sweater. Seafret or multigrain if you want a heavier sweater.
I echo the Stone Soup, and I would also say that I think Stone Soup gets softer the more you wear it, like denim does, like a pair of jeans or a flannel shirt. There's something about Stone Soup that just, you know, to me gets a broken in feeling, but without the pilling. It's amazing. And I made a tunic dress in our last sweater KAL out of the Stone Soup, and I wore that on bare skin constantly, you know, over a bra, and it was very comfortable. But I'm not super sensitive, so I don't know how much that helps, but I've slept in Stone Soup,
it's
like
very
around my face and neck, and it was
It's
just
very
so-
breathable.
Yeah. And that's
very-
like, for me, is better than the Better Breakfast because it is breathable, and it so it feels more to me like your favorite cotton things, like a flannel shirt, even though it's wool. It performs like wool, it's warm, but it has that breathability. It's just this magical blend. I mean, it's kind of ingenious, I think, but because there's nothing else like it. The blend of
It's
yarn.
a storybook blend.
I mean, the bed and breakfast is very luxurious feeling.
Yes.
It'll make a beautiful sweater. But I agree with Catherine on the longevity and the way it changes over time. The sweaters that I reach for, and I have many, the sweaters that I reach for most often are the Stone Soup ones.
Yeah.
They're like throwing on your favorite sweatshirt.
And Dandy's pretty nice. I haven't knit it yet. I'm only at the stage of petting it, but
Yeah,
it's awfully
it is
nice.
really nice.
It is lovely.
She was asking about the sale yarns, and that's not on.
Oh, it's not on? Okay.
Um,
Well, then Stone Soup all the way.
And can Stone Soup DK be used for the Champlain sweater?
yes. I knit a hat. I knit one of the Champlain hats with it, and I love it. You know, it's more.
Excellent.
It's a little more subtle. I just love it though. I love that about it.
See, Robin's fine tuning her shopping list.
Oh, exactly, exactly. I already know the Targi sport that I'm gonna get is that Argentine. I already have that listed.
You
but,
sound a lot. You sound a lot better than you did.
Yeah,
an hour.
I've had like, I had a really cold popsicle and I've had 2 full glasses of ice water. And this is crazy, he put a bowl of vinegar inside the fireplace and put the wool blanket thing over it and sealed it. So the air conditioner is running and nothing is pulling out the exhaust, and I feel much better.
Wow. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Bye, Giga.
Bye.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get Stone Soup DK to make that Champlain too.
That'll be nice.
And because I have one of every color of them, like I can pick my colors before as I can match them up and see how I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Al can get a hat. We could do that matchy thing.
Oh, that would be cute.
Yeah, I can make him a hat that would, not that, he could never wear a sweater, so hat's gotta be for him.
Sorry for that noise, if everybody heard it. That was a phone call.
I like that. I like your ringtone there.
I am now going to put it on silent.
Yeah, most places here don't have air conditioning, so we've been relying on fans, which don't work too good.
And one thing I learned living in New York City is that you actually running an air conditioner is cheaper than running a fan for electricity wise. Like you think you're saving money by using a fan, and it's not true.
That is a surprise.
Some of those window fans and stuff are actually really inefficient.
I have a really good trick that I always do for hurricanes, which is I take washcloths and dampen them, not where they're totally soaked, but like they're wet and a little wrung out. And I fold them in fourths and I freeze them before a hurricane. And then when we don't have power, if you take the washcloth and put it like right here on your chest, sort of a little bit on your neck and chest, your whole core just cools down. So at night when it's too hot, you don't have air conditioning, you can't sleep. I just put that washcloth right here on my, collarbone, a little on my neck. And I usually pass out within 10 minutes. I'm exhausted. I'm finally cooled down. And then, I wake up in the morning with like a cold washcloth somewhere, but at least I got cooled down and I could sleep well. So if anybody is struggling.
I always keep wet washcloths and baggies in the freezer for when I come back from exercise, like running or riding my bike. And I'll put that on and walk around the block or whatever to cool down. And that is like really good.
It's fantastic for hot flashes too. It just gets right where you have that hormonal like blushing that starts here and then goes up your face and spreads across. Just stop it in your tracks. It really works.
Well, that's what I've been doing, is doing the wet cloth, like what you were suggesting. And then I stuck my jammies in the freezer because
Smart girl.
My bedroom was over 100 and the fans weren't working. So, but it cooled me right down. I had under my leg, back of my neck, front neck part, front and back, and then the back of my knees. Worked like a charm. Bizarre, but it works.
You stop me at pajamas in the heat. Like, why bother?
Because they're damp and then it's evaporative cooling.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh man.
Someone was saying when he used to hike and it was really, really hot, his dad would always say every creek, stick your arms in up to your elbow. It'll cool you down really quickly.
Yeah.
And that's so if you still have running water and you can get ice cubes, just sticking your forearms in the water will cool you down very quickly. And then your hands would be cool, Nadine, so you could knit.
I do that too. Whenever I feel like I'm just overheated, I run my wrists under a cold faucet and you can feel the chill going up your arms when you do that. How it's cooling your blood down.
But at least today it's much cooler.
Maybe we had a 30-degree drop on Monday night. You haven't had that yet?
I think it might be close to 30 degrees, but there's one area just a little bit north and east of here, and they're hitting the top for Canada. They're at 121.5.
Wow.
Yeah. Today?
Yeah.
Lytton
And
is still
yesterday.
that hot?
Yeah.
They've hit their all-time high like 4 days in a row there, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like yesterday was 118 or something.
So they've hit it today.
I think all that warm air is pulling the cool marine air in where I am. So we've had a very pleasant day, running about 68 degrees down just across the border from you.
Yeah, we're nice and comfortable right now. Yeah, I think we're about the same as what you are. Where I am, it's about 21, 22.
But hopefully it's not moving eastward toward us.
I think I heard Nevada gets it. It's going southeast.
We're a little bit cooler today in Reno than we were the last few days. No, I don't know. Temperature's showing. Oh yeah, we're cooling down. It's 88. And we were, I think, 100 yesterday.
Yeah, that's a significant drop.
Yeah, it's real good. We're starting to get some thunderstorms, unfortunately some dry lightning, but it's we were talking humidity earlier. It feels humid here today, but I'm sure that the humidity is only like around 15%.
It doesn't even get that dry in the winter here.
Hello,
We laugh
Great,
about it.
Great Lakes area, lots of humidity.
I
What-
spent
what-
the first 13 years of my life in Minnesota, and it would be 90 degrees and 90% humidity.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I refuse to visit there in the summer. Yeah, our humidity right now, oh, it's 23%. No wonder it feels humid.
Ours is 84% right now.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry. It's 97%. And
Oh.
and the temperature is 72 after that rainstorm, but the humidity is 97.
wow.
We're drying up. We're only 77% humidity.
Wait 5 minutes and
67 here.
but
Oh,
it must
I
be
mean-
your heat is coming our way though. It's going to be 90 for a couple of days next week, just like this week. Monday and Tuesday are going to be 90. But it's really odd. It's what they're saying anyways. It's going to be 90 during the day and 64 at night, which is a pretty big difference.
That's weird.
Yes.
You know, if it cools off to at night so I can have the windows open to sleep, I'm really happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're lucky. Our house, we're south facing aspect with the living room, but we have covered patio right outside the living room windows, and that keeps it so nice and cool. I mean, it's been in the 90s here today, and the air conditioning hasn't come on at all.
That's nice.
Yeah.
This is the hardest time of year for us here, like the next 6 weeks, because, you know, we're lucky if we get below 80 at night. The humidity is normally very high, and, you know, it's just, the evenings are amazing. I love summer evenings.
Mhm.
But daytime here is just tough. And so this is just for us here locally, these next 6 weeks for us, unless you're out on the water or at the beach, it's like winter in Minnesota. It's when you're sort of inside hiding out. It's too hot to walk the dogs, the pavement, all that stuff. So, you know, everybody gets a little bit of cabin fever, but I tend to get a lot of knitting done. So
Yeah.
I kind of get excited about this time of year because I feel like unapologetic about hiding out. The tourists are all here. Let them all kill themselves out in the sun. I'll take the beach, you know, a couple of weeks later when they're all gone. And school starts here in mid-August. So, you know, we get plenty of our own beach and water time, but this is just tough. So I'm kind of laughing, like 60s at night. I'm like, oh, that won't happen till October.
Yeah.
The
We
good
just
news
have
is,
we just have highly variable weather really all year long, but in the summer is when it's really noticeable. It'll go from 90 to 70s to 80s, and at night it'll be really hot sometimes and cooler other times. It's just all over the place. So you just don't know how to plan really.
but the good news is humidity helps prevent wrinkles. So enjoy it.
Nice try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I finished my clue.
Yeah, I did as
Ooh,
well.
Good job.
I just finished mine too.
Yeah.
I just finished row 3.
I had to go run my hands under cold water to get through the last couple rows because it was sticking so much. But I finished it.
You know, Robin, I sort of forgot about her home office, and I've never knit with Stone Soup DK. And you knit yours so fast. That might be the sweater that I end up doing this month of July.
You will love it. You'll love it.
Because I love Stone Soup, but I've never knit with the DK.
Yeah.
So now I'm contemplating that.
I'm torn between doing the V-neck in my, my Targi sport that I have, the club cup, the Appalato, or if I want to make that Champlain during the knit along. And since I already did her home office, I really think I'm leaning toward the Champlain, but
I really
We'll
want to
see.
capture on Robin's Nest, but I think I want to save that for the knit along. I think, but I'm not sure. I got to figure that out. So you're thinking you would do her home office V-neck in the Targi Sport?
I have the yarn for it. Yes, yeah, definitely.
So you feel
That's
like you
what
did the Sport instead of the, but you did it in DK. That I'm like
Right.
wondering, okay, they're interchangeable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a lighter sweater, but you can get the right gauge with it. And I love sweater. I love that sweater to death. That I need to knit myself one. So maybe that's
the
what I'll do.
Targi?
Yeah. In the Target. I knit one, but it's here in the shop. So I know I'm not going to get to wear it for a couple of years, probably. So I need to knit myself one.
I just
Are
keep
you gonna
touching
keep
my
having
swatch.
the Targi? Sorry, Robin.
Yeah, we have it reordered already, actually, in shades that we're getting low on. So
That's good news.
yeah, we brought that in to replace the confection that we're not going to have anymore. So we're discontinuing confection and bringing in our, the Targi is our new single breed kind of yarn that I think is better anyway. I mean, I shouldn't say that. The confection is a beautiful yarn. It's just the Targi is, I like it better.
It's a beautiful yarn.
Yeah, it's all about what I like. So
Of course.
Well, you do have to have some perks.
I did a sweater in the confection. I loved it, but it's just too warm for me. But I don't know that that's the wool's fault. I think it was the pattern. It was somebody who does their pattern really densely.
oh, you did that that cabled sweater in it.
Yep.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did the Oban?
No, oatmeal stout, right?
Yeah, that old stout pattern of hers. Exactly. Chocolate stout, I called it, because I used the chocolate color. I think. If it's going to be cold at Rhinebeck this year, I'll bring it because it's my warmest sweater. And that sweater saved my life at Rhinebeck. I would have frozen to death if I didn't have that sweater.
Yeah, what was that year? One year it snowed.
Oh my gosh, it was so cold.
I know. And you'd think as knitters, we'd all have had hats and mitts with us.
I
But
did.
all the other ones were like so warm that I didn't bring that stuff.
Well, and half the
Previous
time,
Rhinebecks.
and half the time on the day you drive there, you're wearing, t-shirts and stuff. You don't expect it, but
Yeah.
the weather can just change so quickly.
True. It was windy and really cold. I remember sitting in that barn all day.
That was 2 years. That was the first year we had our booth. And I do remember on Sunday, it was like 32 degrees at the warmest part of the day. And I had several sweaters on all day long, but I didn't notice because our booth was so packed with people that they kept me warm. But when we went to take down the booth, the more empty the barn got, the more you realized how cold it actually was.
Have you heard about your booth assignment yet?
I don't think so. But we paid our fee and everything. So what, I mean, what they always tell you is you just assume you had your previous booth assignment until otherwise notified.
I'm hoping you get a bigger one this year. I'm pulling for you.
I don't think anybody's getting double booths this year because, well, things are changing so rapidly. I mean, when they sent out all these emails, people were still only like 30 to 40% vaccinated, even in New York State. So now maybe, and they were like, we're going to spread people out. The booths are going to have space between them. And we're going to use as much outside space as possible. So in a way, they were letting you know, like, you might actually be outside when you weren't expecting it. But now I'm wondering, if they will just proceed in the normal fashion instead. So I'm sure things just will change several times before the actual show. And so we're just we'll just wait and see.
I hear you. That makes sense. Did you and the yoke sweater you did for the magazine? Did you do a mitten pattern with that?
Yep. And with
That's what I thought.
the Champlain swatch cap and the Champlain mittens.
I knew that. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll buy some confection sport for that. Because those would be really warm. I know I have some. I think that's what I'm going to do, Robin. I think I'm going to do that her home office.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
And do we only have one more clue after this week?
Yeah, we have next week. We don't have a clue at all.
Okay.
And then the week after we have clue number 5.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I was going, maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
Well, yeah, we're getting toward the end. And then
We do have Zoom, right?
Yeah, the Zoom will be on next Wednesday. It'll just be a knit and chat. With everybody finishing their clues so fast. Well, a lot of people have said that they're grateful for the extra week. So
Always other stuff we can knit on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I might have 1 or 2 things.
Yeah.
You're welcome to bring something else if you're caught up.
So I'm almost out of my first skein. Is that about right? On the large size? Does that sound?
I don't know where you are, so I don't know. But everyone else was just saying they switched skeins.
Okay, I'm on.
I switched about halfway through that.
Yeah,
through
and
clue 4.
And with the large size, you have plenty of yarn with 2 skeins to knit, as off gauge pretty much as you want. I say that now, but you should be fine.
Yeah, I'm on row 12 of this 4th clue, so it sounds like I'm where Amanda was.
Yeah, sounds good.
What yarn are you using, Debbie?
Tango,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
the Targi Tango.
Because I'm using modern deco, and I'm still on my first skein, and I still have
Oh, wow.
quite a bit left.
Yeah, that's all I have. So getting there.
Yeah, I switched at about row 16.
I switched towards the end of the last chart because I had a 7-month-old boxer come for a play date with Mattis, and the boxer found my tardy attached to my shawl and turned it into a whole ball of knotted mess. before I caught him. So I had been pulling from the center, and so he quickly got it all messed up. What I had was like what Robin has now. So I had the second skein all wound, and so I'm already into that. And I'm just gonna save the detangling of the other skein for like the night before I move and I'm losing my mind or something, something like that.
Or just felt it into a ball and give it to a cat friend or something. They love that.
Cat friends.
I know, I don't either, but or a small dog friend who likes toys.
That's a great idea for what to do with my leftover. I will felt it into a ball for my cats.
I have these friends who had this cat that they loved, and I made it several of these little felted mice, and the cat would carry around the toy until it was just a little string, and it was just a little string sticking out of its mouth like a whisker, and he carried it around until it was just completely evaporated. Like he just loved that toy so much. I thought that was I know. I'm like, wow, it didn't even have catnip in it or anything, just
but they can tell by the scent of the wool.
Yeah, there are certain ones that when the shipment comes, if I have it sitting in the knitting bag on the sofa, one of ours in particular will get very, very interested in, I don't know exactly what it is that makes her interested, but she's very interested. And another one will just grab it and run.
Yeah, I had another friend with a small dog who he stayed away from her yarn really nicely, except alpaca yarn, and then he had to burrow into it and like find it and attack it. So they are funny.
I learned early on to keep my yarn pretty well protected because one of our cats likes to chew it. And so you can be working on a blanket and she'll be sitting on the blanket and chewing the farthest end away from the needles. And you pick it up and it's like, oh, really nice. Yeah. There's a hole there now.
Oh, I don't get holes or broken yarn, but the one that is most sensitive to the smell likes to chew it, but doesn't rip it up. But you're just knitting, and then all of a sudden your hand is wet yarn.
Done that too.
Like, let's do that. Yeah.
That's how I feel about slobbery tennis balls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just yucky.
Ladies, this has been so fun, and thank you, and I'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Carla.
Bye-bye. Have a good 4th, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey, Audrey, can I ask you a bee question?
Sure. I'm not all that knowledgeable, but I'll give it a go.
It's about your daughter's like the business that she's in with the whole bee setup.
Right.
So if I lived, near you and I wanted to hire her to like come put a beehive at my house, what does that cost? Like, what do they charge?
I think they charge about $500.
And
for the hive maintenance and all the time that you put into it. And if there's honey, you can have some, but many times the houses where they put the hives, they don't have a great nectar flow, not enough that they can make honey to sustain them all winter. So they don't always get to harvest honey.
do they charge like a monthly service fee to go take care of the hives?
I haven't asked that question, but I know that she has 41 hives she's overseeing this summer.
They must do some kind of monthly service or something.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
don't
pool
know.
guy or something.
She's an employee and they have pretty strict limits on her hours because if she works full-time, if they have so many full-time employees, they have to provide benefits, and they're too small a company to provide benefits. So she's on an hourly wage.
So there's a woman here
So-
who's starting a business like that here in Wilmington, and she is doing $600 for like the whole hive thing, and then $100 to do the maintenance, or a month, or $100 to like teach you how to do the maintenance a month. So like either way, her time, however much time she spends there doing whatever she needs to do, it's like $100 a month. And then
Right. So the upfront cost is for the actual hardware of a
right,
hive.
like she has to build the hive and everything. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it's
That
just a
makes
little bit more because wood prices have gone up. So
And that makes sense.
yeah.
And I don't know, I have never met my daughter's employer, so I don't know if they charge a monthly fee. They sell at all the farmers markets, so she works the farmers markets as well. Yeah.
That's really interesting. I'm just curious because I'm following this girl's business. I'm just very curious to see what it does.
Yeah.
And she literally moved here a month ago, and she's already got a bunch of people paying her to do all this stuff. And I mean, to take on that monthly contract is a lot, you know? I mean, that's a cell phone bill. It's not, you know,
Right.
so I was
I
just
think-
curious.
I think people are very concerned about honeybees, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, one of our hives, all of a sudden, there were just a bunch of dead bees in our hive. And her boss, when she told him, he said, that's what happens if someone in your neighborhood is using a pesticide. And their radius is 3-mile radius. And I don't know what neighbors within 3 miles are doing. But you just suddenly have this die-off in your hive if the pesticide, a bee killing one, gets into the hive.
I know that there's a website when I was doing some research here in North Carolina, and I don't know if it exists out there, where you can, somebody started like a charitable website, and the different local municipalities, so like they spray for mosquitoes here, depending on, like, say we have a hurricane, the trucks will come in and spray, you know, maybe a week later or whatever, when the larvae are hatching. And but you can sign up like, oh, I have a beehive at this address, and then they won't spray down, like they'll avoid that area to protect the hive.
Oh,
So
that's
I-
cool.
Like all the counties in North Carolina, I think, are signed on to the program. And I think it's like a national, I'll have to find out the website. But so if people knew, then they could sign on. I don't know if you guys spray, that's the thing.
Well, okay, so the story's a little longer than what I said, because it turns out that our bees were actually starving because it was a hive that wasn't strong, and she had taken out the honey to put into a weaker hive, and we hadn't supplemented this one.
Got it.
And then when we started feeding, they did come back. So it turned out it wasn't pesticides, but her boss said that's what pesticide would look like.
Got it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I didn't realize, but a honey like Sue Bee honey, what they do is they have a lot of hives, but they just constantly feed them sugar water, and the bees make a syrup with it. They concentrate it and put it into cells and cap it and do their bee thing, but it doesn't have the nutritional or the localness to it. And basically, they're just feeding them sugar water constantly. And it's actually not great for the bees. The bees need the components of the flowers the way it was explained by the spikenard folks. Alex was saying that there's certain things that help the bees, like sage or thyme, or they need those nectars or those pollens. Yeah.
And there's the honey, the large scale honey business is like the olive oil business or any of those other big businesses where there's a lot of illicit watering down of the product in addition with like corn syrups and stuff like that isn't on the label, but is still happening as well. So those
so what my daughter Juniper said is that we're not going to take any honey off the hives that we had to supplement, because the concentrated sugar syrup will be right there alongside the honey, because our blackberries are blooming, and that's the big nectar flow in this area is blackberry. But until we put a queen excluder, so there won't be any brood laid in the frames up high, and stop feeding them, we wouldn't know if we were getting honey or sugar syrup. So
Gotcha.
It's all very involved.
And my cousin has leaf cutter bees, which is they almost look like a small fly, and he used that to pollinate the crops, like some of your wheat and rye. Like he's in northern Ontario, Canada, and they use the leaf cutter bees, but they still make hives. But they cut the leaves of whatever they're going to be using to pollinate to make they're cute little things. I don't mind them at all. But the bears went after it thinking it was a honey hive, so he lost his hives due to the bears.
Oh, that's too bad.
You would think the bears could smell that there wasn't any honey.
I think they were just going by the shape.
And we have the Asian hornets, which are a real problem.
Yes.
So I join, well, I have to let them know by tomorrow if I'm going to join this year, but you set out a trap and you monitor it, because all the Asian hornet sightings have been by civilians, been by the population that has joined in to try to fight the Asian hornet. And when they found the nests last year, there were something like 232 queens in the nest, ready to go out and start new hives.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, which is scary. Yeah.
Have you guys heard about the cobra here in Raleigh?
Oh, the snake?
Yeah.
I saw that. I didn't realize it was in Wilmington.
Oh, no, it's in Raleigh.
In Raleigh.
Up in Raleigh. So this like 24-year-old kid, I say kid, he's like 24. His parents have let him have like exotic snakes his whole life. And he has a whole bunch of venomous snakes. And they live in a neighborhood like, it's not gated, but it's like one of those cul-de-sac neighborhoods. You have to drive through a main gate. And somebody in the neighborhood saw and took a picture of it and posted it. And it's what's called a zebra cobra, black and white stripes. You could see the whole hood and stuff. And it spits the venom very precisely from 9 feet away. And so they're saying, like, if you see it, don't even try to photograph it. And its instinct is to shoot for your eyes, and it can kill you like in not a whole lot of time. It makes you have a fever, nauseous, and then it shuts down your nervous system. So this cobra is just around Raleigh somewhere. And, it's becoming like a joke around the state. Everybody's trying to figure out where the hell this snake is, And people are terrified because they don't want to let their animals out and all that kind of stuff. So it's crazy because it's from a remote part of Africa, super dangerous, and they don't even know how they're going to catch it. Just, so your wasp thing made me think of it like, oh my God.
With a 10-foot pole. They have to.
Right. So why does this kid in Raleigh have a venomous, snake? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, and if he owns it, why isn't he useful in if they can locate it and catching it? I mean, he must have handled it at some point.
I think somebody wisely told them to not open their mouths. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I mean, it's funny. There are like 3 Cobra accounts on Twitter, and I keep following them, and it is kind of funny to watch. But so don't be surprised if you get an update on the snake.
Well, it'll be kind of sad, but if the snake does get a pet, then they can at least know the neighborhood where the snake is. If there is somebody's pet is dead and they examine it, it might
Yeah,
help
and the one thing
locate
they
it.
said is if it does spit, like, don't touch the venom. So like if you look at your cat, you don't even want to touch it, right? You should have gloves on or something like that. Like, it's apparently one of the most deadly.
Well, and hopefully
yeah.
if it does kill a pet or any animal, that there would be a window of time when it can't replenish its venom instantly. Maybe it would be safer to capture it during that time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, but like other animals like skunks, they can't replenish their spray right away.
How did it get loose?
Nobody knows. He had several venomous snakes, and the only thing that we know for sure is that the kid went to the hospital like that day or the day before from being bitten by his mamba snake, his green mamba, which was another venomous snake. So really, the only thing they can do is make sure the hospitals are well stocked with the anti-venom. But it's truly like black and white zebra. It's interesting, and unlike the Indian snakes, the hood is apparent even when it's kind of, it doesn't have to sit up to show off its hood.
Wow,
that's crazy.
I know, right?
And how far can a snake travel in one day?
Well, I don't know. I'm worried it's going to hop on a bus and come down here.
There's a Quentin Tarantino movie in there somewhere.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Although I saw him on Bill Maher the other night, and he's supposedly done with making films now, or he has one more or something.
Oh, you know how you were talking about your left, you did the twist instead of the decrease? For the first time I did that, you cursed me.
Yeah, and you never find out until the next row. The next
exactly. And you're like, why is my count off? That's exactly what I did. You jinxed me.
I'm gonna get going, make some dinner, cool off. It'll be cooler with the oven on than it's been knitted. I'll see you next week.
Have a happy 4th.
You too.
Happy 4.
Feel better.
Right, I'm gonna go too. We gotta do dinner before we watch hockey.
Oh, yeah.
So
Who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for Montreal because they haven't won in a while, so.
Yes, thank you,
I
Cherie.
think,
We can use it.
You're very well. Well, after what I read of the other night's game, yeah, I will be sending all my strength in their direction.
That's who I'm rooting for too. Yeah.
Just
My
because.
father-in-law in heaven will be proud of all of you for rooting for the Canadians. Good deal. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a great week, everybody. Happy 4th to those who celebrate. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
We're going to the movies tonight. We
Oh,
usually go
wait.
on a movie called Zola. It's about a waitress that gets seduced into a weekend of stripping in Florida for quick cash. But let's see, but the trip becomes a sleepless 48-hour odyssey involving a nefarious friend, her pimp, and her idiot boyfriend. And it actually gets good reviews, so we're gonna try it.
Sounds like a Carl Hyacin book.
It does.
It does.
It might be. It was literally the only thing that sounded good. And we usually go on Tuesday night, but we had a conflict last night, so we'll go in tonight instead.
Robin, I want you to know, ever since you mentioned that sweater, I now have the Pointer Sisters stuck in my head saying, I'm so excited. Because I've been wondering what I'm going to knit next. And it's been driving me crazy. And I'm like, so excited, I just can't hide it.
I'm really glad I could help you make a decision for once.
Did you finish up your
Herring weave, not yet, but I am going.
You're
to
done knitting, right?
Yeah, except for the neck. You know,
Oh,
got to
okay.
finish the seaming first. But the plan is to get that all finished this weekend.
Mm-hmm. That'll be nice to have put away for the fall.
Yeah. I've got the seaming started, just haven't had time.
You will love the home office. And don't skip the pockets, even though they're a pain in the neck. They're worth it when they're done, right, Robin?
You know what? Funny that you say that because my pockets are unattached.
Oh,
They're knit, they're blocked.
They need boyfriends.
They're wonderful, like on the couch. They're not on the sweater yet.
I know there's something about it. Like I love pockets, but there's something about actually putting them on that, you know, I do it right away or I won't do it. You know, it's like, you know, the thing
my thing is too, like I keep putting, like I put my sweater on and I put my hand like, well, should I put it over here or would it be better closer over here? And you know what I should do, which would be really smart? Take one of my uniform tops.
Yes.
Because I am used to where the pockets are on my uniform tops. and I go to that spot almost automatically. That would be a super smart thing to do.
That would be smart.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Yeah, like right after this call ends, do it.
No, no. No,
Just-
I'll do it on the weekend.
Just to mark the spot.
Yes, yeah.
That's like with blocking a finished object, like a shawl or something. If I don't, before I get up, I cast it off before I get up, I weave in the ends, and then I go and I throw it in the sink, because if I don't, it languishes in a pile. And I've got a whole shopping bag that's a pile of stuff that needs to be blocked. That's what that is.
I
what we
love
have-
blocking.
That's what we have to do our retreat. That's what we have to do on retreat, is not anything like complicated, but everybody bring their unblocked stuff.
Yeah,
We'll just do a huge like 3-day blocking party, like just
Oh.
rotate blocking and finishing stuff and so
We
on.
need a whole huge conference room just for all this.
Well,
I would
exactly.
love that.
That would be so fun.
Like
I
a ballroom.
love blocking stuff. Love it.
One
I don't
time,
have anything
one
that
time
needs
when
to
I
be
taught
blocked.
one time at Clara Park's retreat, I taught blocking, and like 35 people signed up for this class, and we just pushed all the furniture to the side of the room and pulled the tables to the middle, and everybody swapped tools, and we all blocked shawls, and it was like she came in halfway through to check on us, and the place was just like and then they send a photo crew in, at these events they always send the photographer in to take pictures, and everybody's shouting, and like there was so much noise, and she came running in, she's like, is everything okay in here? It was very funny.
Have you seen Clara Park's Instagram stories where she pretends that she's a knitting influencer? And
Oh, no.
She's got the filter on that gives her this long flowing hair and these great big poofy lips and all this eye makeup.
I haven't seen.
If you don't follow her on Instagram, you should, because they are so funny.
I'm sure I do, but I don't spend enough time on Instagram to see what everybody's doing.
I don't either, but I happened to catch her at one point.
Let's put it this way, 50 to 60% of my feed is dog pictures. because even though I follow all the knitters, what I click on all the time is the dogs.
Right.
Oh,
So
did you
sorry knitters.
So did you see the video of the dog that likes to skateboard?
No, I'm sure I've seen something like it at some point, but
Oh, this is the dog. I think he's an English bulldog, and he doesn't want treats. He doesn't want to walk. He wants skateboard. He's falling off, so they ordered him his own special skateboard. He goes around and he does twirlies and he puts his hind leg out.
So funny.
I bet that's funny.
My latest obsession is there's this knit designer who in Great Britain who creates these beautiful animals, like mostly woodland. I think she has a book out of woodland creatures, but recently released a beagle puppy toy. Holy crap, it's so freaking cute. It's beyond, like, when I saw it, I thought it was real. And she makes kits up and everything. And of course I sent it to Kaya, who's an even bigger sucker for dogs than me. We're both like, oh my God, I have to have it.
What's her name? I would love to find that.
Let me look it up because I was drooling over it again today. Let me go into Instagram here. Oh, Sherry's Garlic came up first thing. Let me see. I know it's probably in my saved stuff. Let's see.
Elizabeth, how have you been feeling? How's your back?
It's gotten a little bit better.
Yay.
But then I'm not knitting a whole lot. Today I probably knit more than I have in a long time. So I'm not knitting a whole lot. I've got the balls. They're sitting here in the box. I just haven't gotten them out yet. And, it's more or less become a mind over matter. I'm like, I'm not going to let this, hinder me in what I want to do.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, I'm hoping you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Find it now. Let's see. Oh, I know. Okay, her Instagram is .pebbles_knits. Claire Garland, CLAIRE Garland. And she's got an Etsy shop, and the link to that is in her so I think it's like the 6th or 7th. Oh, it's so ridiculously cute. Look at him. His little butt.
My God.
And then when you go to, it's just so ridiculous.
Oh, he is so cute.
He's so cute.
And knit?
Yes.
Wait, what's her thing again?
.pebbles, DOT pebbles.
Okay.
And then the photos in the Etsy shop are so ridiculous. It's just so cute.
Oh. With the bunny.
Look at her.
Oh,
I know. All her patterns are just beautiful. I want this so bad, but like it's got special fillings and stuff. I don't know how I would get a hold of those. I guess I'd have to take
the
one step
beagle farther down.
The what?
The beagle farther down.
the guinea pig with the rake is so adorable.
Oh,
scroll down, Anne, and look for the green t-shirt. Somebody in like an olive green t-shirt holding the beagle.
Oh, yeah. That's the same one.
So cute.
Yeah, that's the same one. It's got the same yarn and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she was giving away a kit, I guess.
If this
She's very talented.
Yeah, her stuff is just
so lifelike.
Wow.
I mean, the little badger and but this is the kind of stuff like I fall in love with, but I know like you get into knitting and it's like, wow, this is just this blue bunny that's looking into the cup is so cute. Or this one, talk about knitted mice. Look at that.
I know, that's amazing, isn't it?
So cute. Yeah. And she's given the one where she's given the bunny a bath. Holy crap.
That is just adorable. Oh.
Oh, she's actually felting it.
Oh my gosh, look at the owls.
Yeah. Aren't they beautiful?
And the raccoons. Wow, she is a talent. Fox.
I think I've seen this book.
Oh, the fox on the fence. My goodness.
Oh my God, there's a hashtag. I made this puppy for all the puppies from her pattern.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you gotta go there. Oh, it's too much. Oh my God, they're so cute. It's a whole page full of puppies. Okay, I gotta stop this. I never look at baby pictures like this, like real baby pictures.
Oh my God,
As
the
you might-
video. of
as you
people
might
petting their
as,
puppies.
as you might have guessed from our eating children conversation a few weeks ago.
Oh, I think I missed that one. Oh my God, why did you tell me about this hashtag?
It's called Other Knitting as Assigned.
What was the hashtag again? Sorry.
I made this puppy.
this
Look at that
puppy.
one.
Oh my God.
I mean, come on. That is just adorable.
Oh.
Oh, and when you were talking about blocking, there was a knit class that I was going to pre-COVID. And there was one lady that said, oh, I'll block anyone's knits. So this one lady handed over like just a big bag full of unblocked shawls, sweaters. And then one day, like when it was going to be our last one, we had like a wind up, and the lady gave her this suitcase and she opened it up and it's all the shawls that she had done. And it's like, she said, it's like Christmas in July.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
That's amazing.
So this lady had blocked them all for her and brought them back.
Oh, wow. That's so sweet.
That'd be something I would do. I would totally do that.
She said she really finds it relaxing and she just thoroughly enjoys doing it.
Yeah, I love blocking. As soon as I finish, I'll weave in the ends and I want to block right away. I love it so much.
Where do you block, Robin? Do you block on a table, on the floor, like?
On the floor. That's why I envied when you said about you were making the table and everything. Yeah. I was like, oh, when I was blocking my cam cable and I was crawling around on the floor, and I said to Al, oh, I envy Catherine being able to build that table, blocking table, because I was like crawling around upstairs.
I mean, and hers, David made hers out of like, wasn't it an old dresser or something?
We bought a cabinet at IKEA. It was like just a, I don't know what kind of cabinet it was supposed to be for holding stuff, you know. It's about it's a countertop height, and it has 2 doors on the front with shelves inside. So I don't know if like
Maybe it was
we
a
bought
changing
it.
table or something.
We originally bought it to be like a stereo cabinet or to hold computer equipment or something, like years and years ago. And instead of the countertop that it came with, we put the blocking setup on top. So that whole setup that I told Catherine, sheet of plywood, wrap it in, or top it with Homosoap board, wrapped in, what'd I say? Wool batting and
Wool batting and then muslin.
Yeah, canvas, I think mine has, or muslin. I think it is muslin. And all of those things can take the steam, can take a wet application without getting musty or odorous or anything like that. They can all those materials dry very quickly and don't get smelly or ruined. And the muslin on top, you can change that out anytime. And if you're really persnickety and careful, you can even use like a window pane cotton, a woven cotton window pane, which would be marked off then in increments for you. So
when I blocked my her home office sleeves, I put my little foam blocking pads on. I took everything off my kitchen counters and I did it there.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I use when I do wet blocking, I just do it on the carpet, on the wool carpet upstairs. I throw an old bed sheet down and just do that right on the floor and stretch it, and it dries really fast that way and everything.
I've got deadline knitting I'm working on.
What are you working on?
Well, it's the knitting group that I belong to, there's 9 of us. And usually at Christmas time, we get together and have a gift exchange. And lately we've been going out to eat or going to one of our houses and having it brought in, catered in meal or something like that. Well, we couldn't do that this last Christmas. And so we decided that we would have Christmas in July. And one of the members said, why don't we all make the same pattern, make a shawl out of the same pattern, and we will exchange, we'll do a blind gift exchange. So everybody says, yeah, okay. Well, and she chose this pattern, and I don't know, Anne, you've got me spoiled by your patterns. I really have a hard time knitting some designers' patterns now, because sometimes I feel like they put a design out there because they have to stay in the spotlight, so to speak. And so they throw a pattern out there. None of us are liking this. And we don't want to offend the woman who suggested that we do this. So we're all knitting it and we're like, oh God, this is the boringest knit ever. But I'm almost finished with it. Right now I'm on Death by Garter Stitch. So it literally puts me to sleep. I have a really rough time with it.
Like, I'm really liking this pattern so far. I'd like to see it in like a crib size baby blanket.
Oh, wouldn't that be cute?
Yeah, I was
liking it.
Yeah, once the knit along is over, I can think about doing other things with it. But it's, because it's a surprise, we don't want anything out there. But yeah, it's such a fun. And you know what, the way to do that would be like to knit the blanket probably from corner to corner, because then you could still get the cool edges and stuff, you know,
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think of how you would increase the stitches. Like if you did it corner to corner and had it wider, I guess, starting out and then decrease, but you'd have to, yeah.
Yeah. You'd have to have somebody design it. Just like they figured out how to decrease it, they'd have to figure out how to increase it.
And what's that scarf behind you?
This one is the Caladium that I published when the Kent Lace came out. Yeah.
Okay. That's so attractive.
Yeah. It's really pretty. And the pattern goes up to shawl size, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it's not just a scarf.
I'm gonna check it out now.
Yeah, and the Kent Lace is just a dream to work with that in that kind of a pattern. It's just heavy enough that it has that, you know, that weight that you like, but it's just fine enough that it still gives you a really lacy fabric.
Well, and it shows the details so well because like in Squall has so many twisted stitches.
Mm-hmm.
And
this actually doesn't really have any twisted stitches in the body of it, but the stitch definition is still really good.
Yeah, I'm really liking it.
Twisted stitches, is that what we're doing when we do right and left in this mystery?
Yeah, those are twists. But twisted stitches are like when you knit through the back of the loop or purl through the back of the loop to twist the individual stitch.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also stole length.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My kind of size. I like that a lot.
Me too. I like stole.
I love the shapes in this.
I gotta take the dog out. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So wanna go out? I hear you.
That light color, is that beach glass or?
That's actually the white sand.
White sand.
Which is, I think white sand is like a 10% gray. Between 5 and 10% maybe.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. They're shipping out barn box.
They are?
Yeah, they've been packing it up. Well, the first of the month is tomorrow, so the first batch will go out on the 3rd or the 4th or whenever after the weekend. So I guess on Monday.
Tuesday the 6th. Monday is the observed holiday. The post office will be closed.
Okay. Well, then maybe, yeah. So yeah, the 6th probably. The mail has been a little bit better, knock wood. Except of course, crossing borders, we can't, we don't, the within America, the mail's been a little bit better. But I know Canada's had trouble moving packages.
Sometimes we get things very quickly and other times we're still waiting.
Yeah, and that's going on here too, to a certain extent.
The driver shortage is getting worse for like everything. 1/3 of the United States petrol trucks are parked, and they're the largest driver of gas price right now because there aren't enough truck drivers to deliver the gas. I mean, think about 1/3 of all the gas tankers are just parked.
One thing I don't understand is, okay,
they've been predicting it for years that this was going to happen. It's just coinciding with COVID and everything.
I was gonna say, I
No,
mean,
think they
where
planned it for
are,
COVID.
where are all the workers going? You know, I mean, we have job openings here that normally we'd be getting tons and tons of applications from people that aren't even remotely qualified for certain things that we're just not getting anything. So I was just curious, like, surely
It
people,
depends on the state. States that have ended the unemployment benefits, COVID unemployment benefits, are seeing those jobs starting to get filled. But they've been predicting that we were going to have a driver shortage, a pilot shortage, like, you know, for those kinds of jobs for a while before COVID. So I think it's a perfect storm. I don't think it's fair to say, oh, it's just because of government benefits. Personally.
no, I don't think so either. And
I don't think it helps, but
and I think that ended in our state actually a while ago. Like, I don't think we've had the extra unemployment benefit for quite a while. And don't forget that's in some states, at least early on, their unemployment system was such a mess that
yeah, that was the
you know,
case here, and we still
that-
have benefits in place. Yeah.
mhm.
The Denver News said today that there were a lot of truckers that were ready for retirement age. And when COVID came around, they said, we're just done. And so there were a lot of people that retired and got out of the trucking industry at that point also. So
That's really interesting. Yeah.
is what they said.
That's
Now-
what I did.
I think that happened in a lot of industries because we're the baby boomer. Well, I'm a baby boomer. And so, you know, we got to COVID and they'll say, oh, we'll just retire. I had a friend who did that. She was a nurse and her daughter has this, it's basically a terminal illness, but she wasn't going to be able to be around her daughter if she stayed in the hospital. And so she said, forget it, I'm just retiring. And I think a lot of people decided to do that. They're just like, I'm not going back to work. And then I think too, you know, people aren't, particularly in being a waiter or a waitress, people are finding other things to do. Because unless you work in a high-end restaurant, you know, it's a little difficult.
But that's what I mean, I'm a little flummoxed. I mean, we're offering like a career track position right now for someone who's in their either last 2 years of school or recently graduated. Our hourly rate is competitive with Starbucks or anywhere else. Like, I just don't know. You know, I don't think yeah, we're just not getting any bites. It's just really interesting.
Well,
you would think kids getting out of college would be, you know, examining those kinds of positions to get going, you know.
But then the kids getting out of college, I read an article on this, they are not accumulators like we were, you know, accumulating the house, accumulating the cars, accumulating everything that goes in the house. They are more experience driven. And so they want experiences. They don't want the mortgage and 2.5 kids.
We're not offering a mortgage. We're just offering a job. You know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We're offering an opportunity in a career track job. We're not hiring like shop assistant or anything like that. This is a marketing position, you know, for someone who it would be their first experience, you know, aside from possibly an internship, which you know, from what I understand, like most of the internships aren't really, it's like 3 months someplace, 2 or 3 months someplace doing an internship. Like, how much can you learn?
Right.
Anyway, I mean, I'm just wondering, like, really, would people take some kind of barista job over a career opportunity? I'm curious.
I think there is a segment of the younger population that would, because a barista occupation or a barista job gives them more freedom of movement. They can.
Yeah, I mean I sort of get that it's summer and you know, maybe they just want to have fun for a few months, but I'm just a little surprised.
Those barista jobs have continuing education and insurance.
Yeah, I'm not putting that down.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
they've got
not
a lot
saying
of,
they're
I'm
not
just saying
good.
they have a lot of opportunities too.
I'm not saying they're not
Yeah.
good. I'm just saying we're competitive and we're a career track. You know, what we're offering is a career track job. This isn't like counting, counting stuff or packing boxes. This is a marketing position.
Right.
And if you've seen our marketing, it's pretty good,
Yeah, definitely.
in a cool business, like a kind of offbeat business that you would think younger people might enjoy.
Just have to find the right knitter.
Exactly. No, we don't need a knitter. We don't need a knitter.
Of course you don't need a knitter, but someone that's passionate about knitting that wants to be, part of all that.
Yeah, or just passionate about marketing. I don't care if they're really, experience has taught us that they don't need to be in any way even have any facility for knitting, in this position. So it's kind of interesting.
I think the thing about like the pilot shortage and the trucking shortage was companies not investing because of, I don't know, the financial crisis, or they wanted to boost, bottom lines. CEOs stay in position at so many places for less time, so they want to like goose returns, and there wasn't investment in like employee pipelines, and now we're paying the price by not having programs to attract people to drive trucks and programs for people to go into flying. And
and I would argue that that's probably true across many industries, and not just driving, but when I was working in corporate, we all in my department felt incredibly undervalued for, the salary was okay, but the treatment and everything else was really
about
the lack of opportunity, the lack of opportunity to go higher, or lack of respect for the work we did or us,
If I was there, I would apply, but I'm too far away.
Yeah.
I'm also an old fart.
Is Elizabeth still on?
Yeah.
We have people of all ages in our company, from college age up through, let's see, how old is the oldest? Well, Lillian is just turned 80. So we are actually really evenly weighted across the age spectrum. We have several people who are, younger in their 20s, but several more people that are older. And I haven't found that either age, that any one end of the age spectrum is better than the other. Like, we've had people my age who are completely unreliable and can't do what they say they can do. And we've had young people the same. And then we've had hard workers as well. So
I love this, Anne.
You what?
I love this. I just love it. I love this fabric. I love the yarn. I love the pattern. I love it. Love it.
I'm glad.
What did you pick, Catherine? What yarn?
I did the Targhee in the fin, the white color. I'll show you the back so I don't ruin anything.
You can see right through it.
We see right through it.
Sorry.
The front.
I try. I'm really sorry.
I think everybody here is kind of in the same place anyway.
I think we all know what it's gonna look like.
I don't think you're spoiling any surprise.
Honestly, I'm getting to that brain dead stage that I did last like February when I had the move. I'm starting to get into that stage again. So I apologize. For those of you that don't know, I'm in the middle of a massive home remodel and I moved back into my house in about 6 weeks.
Oh my.
Oh,
And so
that's
things are-
great.
So my brain is getting overwhelmed again. So I'm really sorry.
Are you at a phase where you have to make all kinds of detailed decisions now that you see what it looks like?
It's not so much that I see because I, you know, we're knitters. We can imagine. We have good creative sort of brains that we can see things, right? It's more like, oh, today it was like, where do you want the toilet roll? Do you want it on the left or the right side? How high do you want it next to the toilet? Like, I'm like, I don't care, just do it. But they won't just do it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't have say every time I go into somebody else's bathroom or public bathroom. And I've never stopped to pause and worry about the toilet paper roll placement. So why do I have
to spend didn't measure the old one for you,
right. So why do I have to spend like an hour of my time having a discussion about this? Like,
well, isn't there a standard for that?
Exactly, there is. It's
I don't
laziness
know,
on their
but I
part.
think what happens with builders, with like remodel type builders versus like tract home builders, is they get these control freak clients that burn them so badly that they need to have that constant reassurance. And
my contractor had horror stories.
I'm sure.
They had one woman who ordered a quartz countertop, and a company called Conkus from Columbus did it. She sent it back 4 times, saying it was not the right design. 4 times. And they kept replacing it for her. And the 5th time they told her they wouldn't, you know, they said, we'll give you your money back. You can go someplace else.
I mean, I'm using a really quality builder, and so they're not sliding anything in there or anything like that. And I chose them because I didn't want to have to do all that stuff. But I think they're really traumatized. And like I had to sign off on every single selection before they ordered knobs, before they ordered tile, before they ordered everything. So now I'm like, okay, now you're going to bug me about where on the wall it goes. Just put it on the wall. It's 10 times better than what my house was before. I'm not going to complain about it. You know what I mean? Like, and if I want it 5 inches lower, I can move it myself. It's okay. You know, it's like, I don't know. So I'm finding it just a little overwhelming. So I apologize to all of you.
Well, I think that's exactly what I meant. Is it a bunch of details?
Yes, you're right. That's it.
Yeah. You know, maybe you need to learn this phrase. What's the industry standard? And then,
you know what? That is such good advice. I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
I am absolutely going to take it.
I don't know the difference between, you know, functionally 30 and 31 inches or something for a height. And I'm like, I have to make a decision, you know, so.
I think making a decision whether you want it on the left or the right may make sense, but where you want it on the wall, there should be a standard for that, I would think.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, you know, they're like, are you sure you don't want one that just stands like, you know, a freestanding one? And I'm like, no, I don't want that. I've got Labradors. It's going to get knocked across the room every 5 seconds. No, but I'm sort of like, why, like, I don't know. I just, all that, those kinds of things never occurred to me. And I guess I've just never been in a position because I had always rented. And then I bought a house that was done, you know, seriously outdated, but done. So there wasn't a lot for me to do. So I think it's just naivete on my part, just complete. And also, like, I know people love to make those decisions and I just don't, you know.
Yes, I do know.
Elizabeth, technical question for you. Is there any way to sync the Knit Companion across the devices?
Yes.
I think you can sync it like between your iPad and your iPhone.
Okay, so I'll go online and have a look and see if
Well,
I can figure it out.
Debbie,
No.
have you seen that?
You have to send it to the cloud, and
Okay.
you mark cloud, and it will pick it up from the cloud. So when you go on another, whether you go to your iPhone or your iPad, it's the same one. You just
Okay, perfect.
make sure it's cloud.
Do you send it to your Dropbox?
No,
I have both. I have Dropbox and Ravelry, but I don't see.
it's a
on my
cloud application inside of Knit. So it's not.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it just. I think it says it up in the corner. I don't remember where now, and I'm not in the middle of that.
No, it's okay. I've seen the cloud on my phone, but not on the iPad. It just says local Ravelry Dropbox.
At the
But
top here, you say Ravelry, Dropbox, or iCloud.
Right, that's what it says on my phone, but not on my iPad.
Oh, so have you not updated your?
Well, this is thing I might need to do an update. That's exactly where I was headed. All right.
Or you might need to go to settings and enable that app under your iCloud in your
Okay.
settings.
All right. Yeah, because if I know it can be done, then I'll look and figure it out. But if it can't be done, I'm not going to sit and kill myself.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you
I'm
very much,
leaving.
ladies.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye,
Jose.
Jose.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna
Good
go as
night.
well.
Me
I'm
too.
good, my best.
Yeah.
Bye, my best for your
For
mom.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Happy holidays,
Happy
everyone.
Good night.
Holidays.
Bye-bye.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th.